are you? Welcome back. I'm Michaela, this is Michaela Reads, and we have hit 2022. I don't know if I've mentioned that before in this channel, but we have. So in 2022, there are 22 books that I would like to read. This is something that I've seen floating around mostly in bullet journals, but I figured I'd make a video out of it because why not? I'm going to tell you today about the 22 books that I want to read in 2022. This is by no means a TBR. This is by no means a goals video. I already have 2 of those floating around somewhere, but I am just going to tell you about the 22 books that I would love to get to in an ideal world in 2022. There is also only 1 new release, as far as I know, maybe 2 on this list. Most of them are books that I either I've missed last year, or that are coming out this year that I am anticipating. I am notoriously terrible with keeping up with like up and coming books, so this is what we have to work with. So because I'm talking about 22 books today, I'm just going to give like short 1-word descriptions because I do not want to be giving full synopses of 22 different books, and also I don't know all of the synopses of these 22 books. So let's get started. The first book that I would love to get to in 2022 is House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. This is the second book in the Crescent City series. This is probably like my most anticipated book of this year. I don't have most anticipated because I don't keep up with these things, but if it was to be a most anticipated, this would be it. The Crescent City series is an urban fantasy story in the like Sarah J. Maas world, basically. Short description. If you liked her other works, you will also like this. Oh, I lied, there's more than 1 new release. The second book is Bloodmarked by Tracey Deon. This is the second book in the Legendborn series. I believe this is also coming out in the first half of this year. Legendborn is the first book that I read last year, and it was a 5-star read. It was phenomenal. It is another kind of urban fantasy young adult series that follows a girl who is amidst losing her mother and then ends up attending a college type school where there is a lot of magic, and she has to come to terms with the roots of herself and the magic that she is inevitably involved in. I'm super keen for it. I might read Legendborn again before I do read that though. Number 3 should be of no surprise to anyone who has been with me on this channel for some time. It is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E Schwab. I have put this book in that many TBRs that I think it's cursed. I have not gotten to the story. At this point I don't even know what it's about anymore because I just have said it that many times that it's blurred in with every other book that I've read. So I'm finally gonna get to A Darker Shade of Magic this year, I hope. Number 4 is Dawn Study. It is the conclusion to the Poison Study series by V.E Snyder. I did a reread of that last year and finally have gotten up to the last book in the series, finally. So I will be finishing the Poison Study series in 2022, finally. Number 5 is A Little Life. I've heard that this book is devastating. I've heard that there's like a lot of trauma, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of like, just everyone that's read this has said that it is sad. And I love feeling sad, so I'm going to read this book. Number 6 is Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. I have this book on its way to me as we speak. TJ Klune wrote The House on Cerulean Sea. If you have not heard of that or seen it, please refer to any of my other videos because I rant about it all the time and I recommend it to everyone. Under the Whispering Door is his next novel. It's definitely not his only novel that he has. TJ Klune has much more other works. Wow, words are not good for me today. Jesus. To be honest, I don't really know the plot of this one. I know that it's a similar vibe to The House on the Cerulean Sea, but not as good is what I've heard. So stay tuned for my verdict. Number 7 is Tender is the Flesh. The premise of this book is that all of the animals have contracted this virus. Humans can no longer eat animals, and so they grow and eat humans instead. It's a dystopian novel. It's quite short and I will be reading it very soon. Number 8. If you have not seen my goals for 2022, please go watch that. But this relates to that. I will be reading Vampire Academy in 2022. I'm doing an entire reread of the series so that I can finally finish the, what's the other one called? The follow-up series. I have never finished it. I had the last book in the series and I never read it. And so I'm going to do an entire reread of all of it so that I can finally get that book off of my TBR because it's been there for nearly a decade. Number 9 is the Atlas 6. I have been trying to get my hands on the Atlas 6 for months. It is not released in Australia yet, and I can't find it online, and so once it's available I will be getting my hands on that. But as far as I know, it is a college-based dark academia character-driven story. that's my entire synopsis in my brain that I have of this book, and I'm very excited to read it because I've heard mixed reviews about it and I'm excited to have an opinion. Number 10 is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. This is a book that made its rounds in 2021. It's one of the ones that I missed. I didn't quite get around to reading it. I never read Percy Jackson growing up, so I was never really into the whole Greek gods kind of world. And so The Song of Achilles did not really resonate with me as something that I wanted to pick up and read. I have since heard that it is actually quite good, and there is a love story that it is based upon, and so I have picked it up and I will be reading that this year sometime to just catch up with the rest of the world. Number 11 is Mooncakes. This is a graphic novel of which I know nothing about, but it looks really good, and I've heard that it's also very good by people who read graphic novels more than I do. Again, if you haven't seen my goals of 2022, reading more graphic novels is one of my goals, and so this is one that I've just put in there to help move along that goal a little bit. Number 12 is The Maid. This is a new release, and I believe it's also a TV show or a movie. I'm not sure. It's something, but basically it follows a maid who works for a rich family, and while she is cleaning she finds a dead body. And it follows that. A lady who recommended me Tender is the Flesh also recommended this, and she said that the main character is quite like Eleanor Oliphant, which I kind of liked the characters in Eleanor Oliphant, but I mean, I'm happy to give it a go. And it's a new release, so I was like, I'll just chuck it on this list. Could be good to get to. We'll see how we go. Number 13 is I would like to finally get to The Nature of Witches. This is a book that I intended to read in October last year and did not get around to because I am terrible at planning my TBRs based on the seasons, particularly because I live in Australia and it is not warm and cozy at the point of spooky season. So there is that. Again, I know nothing about it, but everyone said it was good and everyone loved it. So Nature of Witches is on my list. It's in my library app. I have it saved and ready to go. I just haven't got there yet. 14 is Crying in H Mart. I have seen this all over the place. This is a memoir. Apparently it is also quite sad. I've picked it up because I want to be sad. That's the premise of it. I also really enjoy hearing about real experiences of people crossing cultures as well. So it is both to make me sad and also to expand my worldview a little bit, hopefully. Number 15 is The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. I'm not gonna lie, I literally only picked this up and would like to pick this up. It is a new release this year as well. Oh my god, I'm so ahead of the times here. I want to read this one specifically because the cover is beautiful. That's about it. Number 16 is Yoke by Mary H.K. Choi. I've heard that this is a book following sisters. That's all I know about it. And that's all I'm going to know about it going into the book. It is everywhere, everyone loves it. I trust the people who say that it is good, and so I'm putting my trust in them for the books that I will be reading this year. Number 17 is Furyborn. This is a book talk beloved. Everyone read it last year in the whole flurry of, oh my god, Court of Thorns and Roses, From Blood and Ash, these violent delights, like in that realm, Furyborn popped up and I like most of those, so I've picked it up and I will be reading it this year because I have learned that I don't read a lot of fantasy romance, which is a genre that I generally really enjoy. So in hopes to continue that enjoyment, Furyborn is it. Following on from that, number 18 is From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I have not read this. Everyone else in the world has read this, and I just want to see what the hype's about. Apparently it's spicy, apparently it's smutty and morally grey and just all of the things that I love in a book, and I just haven't gotten it. I haven't picked it up. So I will eventually get to that at some point this year, hopefully. Number 19 is Eliza and Her Monsters. I hauled this a while ago, and this is a book that I have had on my to buy pile for a very long time, like since it came out, and so I finally purchased it. And I'm hoping that I am still young enough to enjoy it as I would have enjoyed it when it first came out, because that is always my worry with these books that I pick up like over 5 years later when I'm no longer a part of that cohort. Now, number 20 is You've Reached Sam. I have also heard that this one is sad. Wow, I'm so depressing. Again, it's another one literally that I picked up because it's sad. And I do love a good romance book. So like sad and romance put together, the angst. We love the angst. Number 21 is Pachinko. This is a story that follows generations of a family, and I have heard nothing but great reviews about it. I haven't actually heard anyone say anything bad about it. Like, no one has even said that it's average that I know about. So I will be reading Pachinko. at some point in 2022. I have it, it's ready to go. I just have to read it. And also it's beautiful, like the cover is gorgeous. Can we just appreciate that for a minute? Not a full minute, we don't have time for that. And finally, number 22 is Eva Evergreen Semi Magical Witch. This is a middle grade story that I have picked up, A, because of the cover, and B, because I don't read much middle grade and I like it to be good if I am going to read it, and I've heard that this one is good. The last one I read was The House in the Cerulean Sea. So Eva Evergreen has a lot to live up to. So as speedy and non-informative as that was, those are the 22 books that I would like to read in 2022. Again, not a TBR and not a goals video, but it's a video and I've made it. So let me know if you also want to read any of these books, or if you have books that you would like to read in 2022. I would love to hear about it. Thank you so much if you've made it this far. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!